Hey, a brand new episode of the Happy Productive Podcast is about to begin. It's time to be inspired by simple and actionable solutions for you and your business. If you're an established entrepreneur or just laying down the first brick of your future empire, the mantra is the same. We will flip any failure into a positive and use it to our advantage. This show is all about turning coal into diamonds. With the right plan and mindset, anything is possible. I'm Jennifer Dawn, your host, business coach, and founder of Best Planner Ever, and I'm here to help you achieve all your ambitious goals. Success is closer than you think. Let's do this. Hey everybody, welcome to today's show. I'm Jennifer Dawn, and the topic that I want to dive into today is actually inspired from a question that I was asked this week by a coaching client. And this is a client who has been going through some really deep things. She's going through a very, very difficult divorce. There are some health issues there. There are some logistics of, being in different locations and trying to figure out, where does she actually want to live? And then you add to that a business that is co-owned with her current partner and trying to, step away from that. So there's a lot of things going on. And one of the things that she asked me this week was, Jennifer, how did you know? How did you know that, this is where you wanted to be and this is where you wanted to do? And the honest answer to this question is I didn't. I really and truly didn't know. I had sold my software company, bought another company in the real estate industry. It was actually a log home company, which was a massive failure, and I had to close it down. And I kind of became a little disillusioned with being an entrepreneur. And so I took a corporate job, moved my whole family across country. And at the time I was actually in a marriage that was not a good marriage and ended up having to go through a divorce, but had relocated, had my big fancy corporate job. And the first year of that went really well. But then after that, things really started to not go so well. And I went through a time in my life where it felt like just everything was falling apart. Now, looking back, I realized it was a beautiful disaster where it all just fell apart. I was going through a terrible divorce from a very toxic and abusive person. My corporate job, they were blaming me for some things that just truly were not my fault. And I could just kind of feel the whole thing falling apart. And that also was a very toxic environment with just a lot of like gossiping and backstabbing and that kind of stuff, which I just don't like to play in that world. I'd lost 2 horses within 30 days of each other. I was a single mother, 3 children, trying to hold it all together, no family, no friends, no support. I was really and truly just all on my own. And it was just such a dark period of my life. And there came a moment where I had an opportunity to hire a life coach. And the way that opportunity came around was absolutely, the universe working in my favor, even though I couldn't see it at the time. But there was a moment where I had to make a decision. I wanted to hire this life coach. I was going through all of these difficult things, and her price was $900. That was the charge for 3 months of life coaching, $900, and I had to pay up front. And in my savings account, I had $900, like to the penny. And in that moment, I had to make a choice. I had to make a decision. And there was a part of me that was like, you're being irresponsible. This is the only savings that you have. And you're going to spend it all on a life coach for yourself. And you're a single mom with 3 kids. What are you doing? But I realized that the best investment that I could make was in myself. And that was the best thing that I could do for my kids, was to heal myself and be the best mother for them that I could be. And so I did it. I took the leap of faith, you guys, and it was a big one. And I spent the $900, wiped out my savings account, and hired this life coach. And she absolutely helped change the course of my life. And as a coach now, I look back and I'm like, oh my God, I was such a terrible client. You have no idea how many calls that I would just sob. I was just so filled with grief and so many emotions, and I would just sob on our calls. But the good news is that it really helped me start charting a course, charting a different direction to go into in my life. And that led me to stepping away from corporate, going and taking a summer off, spending the time with my sister. I didn't know what I wanted to be. And so at the time I thought, oh, I love writing, so why not be a writer? And I started taking steps in the direction to become a writer. And I landed a few little writing jobs. They didn't pay, crap. But I was, determined I was going to make it happen. And then the writing kind of led me to taking some marketing jobs where I was writing some marketing copy. And one day I was writing marketing copy, no joke, for a psychic. Okay. And I was helping her redo her website and writing her marketing copy. And on a call, spontaneously, she says, Jennifer, you should rebrand yourself as a business coach. I see big money in it for you. And I'm like, okay. But at the time I'm thinking, yeah, I'd grown a couple multi-million-dollar businesses, but I'm like, who's really going to listen to me? It didn't make any sense. Never in my life had I even considered becoming a business coach. And then my client, she stiffed me on the bill and didn't pay her bill. And I really needed that money. And so I completely just, ignored everything that she'd told me. And so I went on to, get through the divorce. I met another amazing man. We relocated to New York. And when we got here, I didn't know anybody. And so I went to a women's networking group, met the founder, and was offered a position to do their accountability and masterminding circles, which I took. And while I was there, I tripled their revenues, did a bunch of really good work there. And I thought it was going to be like my last job. Of course, I thought that about my corporate job too. And what ended up happening was the woman who hired me, we'd had an agreement where it was a small wage and equity in the business. And so I was totally willing to do that. And I put in all the hours to triple the revenues and implement a lot of structure and systems. And then when the time came for her to, and this was, a year and a half into it, sign the paperwork of like, okay, we've done this. It's going great. Let's make it official. I should have equity in this business. She basically completely screwed me over. She had all these excuses of why she couldn't find the paperwork. It was with the accountant, blah, blah, blah. And as I pressed, she turned it around on me and said, oh, well, clearly you don't trust me, which was not the case at all. But I was forced to resign and start over again, which was somewhat devastating, you guys. I have to tell you, it was really, really devastating at the time. And the good part of that, though, is that I had a network. Right? I didn't realize it at the time, but I'd made all these amazing connections and I had a network. And even though I was forced to start over again, I actually left that with clients, with coaching clients, women who said, you've been helping us so much and we love your coaching and we want to continue working with you. And that's really how my business practice started, was being forced to stand up for myself because I was just killing myself for very little money. And my partner was not going to honor the agreement with us. And I was just forced to, I've got to start over again. But I had this amazing network and I had a handful of amazing women who were willing to follow me. And I started my coaching practice. And that was almost a decade ago. And I've been going strong ever since. But here's the thing, even the first couple of years of my coaching practice, I was like, is this really it? Is it what I want to do? Right? You hear these stories of people like, I'm so aligned with my purpose and I know what I'm supposed to be doing. And that was not the case for me. I didn't really know. I mean, I could see things were happening and kind of falling into place. And I kept getting, another client. And I was having good results, but I wasn't really like feeling it in my heart in those first couple of years. And so it was really a few years into it that I made the decision. I'm like, look, Jen, at some point you're going to have to pick something. And coaching seems to be working out pretty good for you. So why don't you just decide that this is it? And I did. And I decided right then that I was going to step into it 100%, put my heart and my soul into it. And that's when my coaching practice really and truly kind of started to explode. So it went from 5 figures to 6 figures, then multiple 6 figures. And it's been going strong ever since. So the reason why I share this, though, is that no matter what you might be going through in your life, in your business, if you are waiting for that, oh, everything feels perfect and everything is so aligned, and you're waiting for that, and because it hasn't happened, you're just like not taking action. You're just kind of stuck and you're just going through the day to day and you're waiting for this amazing inspiration to come. I'm here to tell you that that does not always happen. It does happen for some people and it's great when it does. Now I feel myself inspired all the time. And now I feel like, yes, this is my purpose. This is my passion. It's 100% no questions asked. but it took me years to get here. And the way that I got here was taking it one day at a time, one step at a time. But the thing that I did was I never stayed stuck. I never, stood still. I always picked some kind of a direction, any direction, and I went forward and I took a step and I took action and I made something happen. And it doesn't mean that I didn't pivot here and there along the way. I absolutely did. But I didn't have that, beaming light guiding me. And I share this because right now, if you're not feeling it, but there are things that are lined up, or you've started your business, or maybe you've started your business and you thought, if you were like me, when I make my first, 100 grand a year in my business, everything's going to be great. And then you make the first 100 grand and you're like, ruh-roh, this isn't quite what I thought. So now I'm going to need to make 250, or I'm going to need to get to 500,000, or I'm going to need to get to 1 million. And when I get to those places, then it'll all work out. It'll all be fine. All my problems are solved. Those of you who are already at those higher levels of revenue, you already know where I'm headed with this. Like, it does not work that way. The challenges just follow. They're just different at these different levels. And so that thinking of, if I just get there, everything will be fine is total crap. It does not work that way at all, you guys. But you can get to those higher levels. You can get to a place where you are fully inspired. You can get to a place where you're living your purpose and your passion. It just might take some time. So this is actually part of what inspired me to create our roadmap. Our roadmap is a tool that we use in the coaching practice to help our clients take a step towards focus, clarity, direction. And the beautiful thing about the roadmap is it doesn't matter where you are. If you're just starting out, if you're an established business owner, if you are a multiple million-dollar corporation, if you're a high-level executive, it doesn't matter. The roadmap works for everybody. But the idea behind the roadmap is to take a snapshot of this is where we are today, to take an honest look without judgment at all the areas of your life and your business. Okay. We're looking at the whole picture. And when we take that honest assessment of this is where I am, then we can start to take steps towards, well, this is where I want to be. It doesn't matter that you don't have all the answers. We can actually start with the things that you do know. And then we can pick a direction. Then we can start to take action. And for you established business owners in the roadmap, the other thing that we can do is we can actually look at how much money are you actually leaving on the table from all these things in your business that are, not really functioning at the level that they can function? And that's the beautiful thing about this roadmap session is that we sit down, we look at everything, we prioritize a list, we identify where we're leaving money on the table, we identify opportunities, we identify support that we might need with our health, with our life, with challenges we might be going through that are affecting the business. We identify all of that. And then at the end of the session, we actually have clarity. We have focus. So many of our clients, when they go through the roadmap session, they come away just like, oh my God, like feeling amazing, because sometimes for the first time in their life, they have literally a clear written plan, which will help them get to that next level in business, that next level in their life. And I remember going through all these things in my life and how it felt not to have that clarity, how to know in your heart that you could take your business to the next level, but not really know how, and to feel so alone on the journey, right? So often being an entrepreneur just feels like a very, very lonely road. We have to have all the answers. We can't ask anybody for help, which is total crap, total nonsense. The more help I ask for, the more help I get. And that's what we want to embrace here. But I remember not having that clarity in that direction. And that's why I've created this roadmap and made this useful tool. And so I share this with you guys because there is help out there. If you're listening and you're just like stuck in whatever area of business or life and you're feeling like, I just don't know what to do, I need some support, I need some help, it is out there, but you've got to take that step. You've got to set your intention to, I'm going to figure it out. Even if I'm not feeling it yet, but I have an idea of where I want to go and I'm willing to take action to get there, then there are going to be help and tools and resources that will find you. And they can come in so many different forms. It could come in the form of a healer, a teacher, a therapist, a coach, right? It can come in so many forms, but at the end of the day, you have to be ready. You have to be in a position where it's like, you know what? I'm going to do something different. I'm making a different decision. I'm willing to take action. I'm willing to get some help. I'm willing to check my ego at the door. And that's where you got to be. You got to be in that place. And so I just share this with you guys today because I just think it's so important. And I hope it helped my client as well when she heard it's okay if you don't feel it yet. But if you have a general idea of the direction you want to go in, just take it day by day, one step at a time. And if you do that, if you take that action, you get out of your own way, I promise it will unfold. The universe will support you. The universe does not support us if we are sitting on the couch feeling sorry for ourselves, if we are completely stuck, if we are keeping ourselves in those, sabotaging habits and things like that. You're not going to get the support from the universe. When you are pushing past your fear, getting out of your comfort zone, setting your intention, taking action, taking steps forward, that's when the universe is going to support you, okay? The universe does not support sad sacks, all right? The universe supports people who are courageous and brave, and even if they're scared, they do it anyway. And when you start doing those things, you're going to see the universe totally, totally has your back. All right, you guys, I hope this is very helpful. And in today's show, if there was something that I said that really aligned with you and resonated with you, I would really encourage you to hold on to that and take some kind of forward action. At the end of the day, it's all that matters is that action that we're taking. All right, that's it, you guys. Get out there and have a happy, productive day. I hope you found today's episode of the Happy Productive Podcast inspiring. Every successful business is formed by a set of small, consistent, and attainable steps. If you want to learn more, come visit us at jenniferdawncoaching.com to take your next step and learn how to meet your business goals. On our website, you're going to find free resources along with links to the life-changing coaching programs that have transformed the lives of so many of our clients, including the Coaching Academy and our Unbreakable retreats. Many of them started their journey by listening to this podcast. That's it. Thank you for listening and stay tuned for our next episode.
This is the She Leads Podcast Network.